Okay. We're working on case 2, on global case, and what are some of the key facts in this case? Anybody?
Syrian Mills produces 2.8 billion goods worldwide.
Okay, they're a global company doing business in Canada, and that's our division. We're working, and 69% of the market in Canada are in 2 provinces, Ontario and Quebec, right? And those are the 2 largest cities, Toronto and Quebec. Of course, Toronto being English speaking, and Quebec has a totally different language and culture, right? They're French. And so what's happening is that in the French market, the sales are declining, right? And there's uncertainty as to why that's occurring, but our staff believes that it's because we're just concentrating on one global strategy, right? And we're not concentrating on specific needs of the Quebec market with a different language. We're just directly translating our English into French instead of what the staff wants to do is to hire a French-Canadian advertising agency or do marketing research, find out what the specific needs are, and tailor the brands and the market right to that community, right? And of course, to do that would do what? It would add to the cost, right? It's much more expensive to tailor each market, and there's some real advantages. In Minneapolis, our headquarters wants to have one global brand and build global brands. And this is the advantages to this are really economies of scale, do things at a lot lower cost, and really build brand equity like Hershey's candy bars and Budweiser and Coca-Cola. And with having worldwide brands, there's a lot of efficiencies, and you build up a lot of equity. In fact, one of our best investors, Warren Buffett, one of the things that he does, he invests in companies with either the number 1 or the number 2 brand equity. One of his companies he owns is Wrigley, right? Wrigley chewing gum with Wrigley Field. Can anybody even name another chewing gum besides Wrigley? So these brands, if they're global brands, there's a lot of value added to do that. But not everything, especially in food products, can be tailored as well, because each geography, even in the United States, right? In the South, they eat grits for breakfast. How many people in Ohio eat grits? I see a couple hands actually went up. But catfish and hush puppies and a lot of things in the South or in the West. So in different regions should, especially in taste, in food products, perhaps that could be done. So these are some of the key facts. So the problem is sales are declining in Quebec. What should be done? And there are really 3 alternatives to this case. The first alternative would be to concentrate on the global brands that Minneapolis wants us to do, not make the change. And because we have this global presence, and it lowers the cost. In fact, if we gain these economies of scales, perhaps we can actually lower the price enough where sales will pick up. And that's what happens often in a marketing strategy is you could maybe adapt the market and get something that people are willing to pay more for. But the other strategy may be to just gain these economies of scale by having this global brand and just coming in with a low price and gain a market share that way. And the other extreme would be to try to adapt all your products to the Quebec market. Hire a marketing firm in Quebec and try to meet the needs. Maybe even be more labor intensive, because one of the features of the Quebec market is, instead of the large national food chains like Walmart and Kroger and Safeway, there are little mom and pop stores. Well, with each mom, that would take a lot more sales reps calling on each specific store to gain shelf space for your foods and things. So it would be quite expensive to adapt to that market. But there is a middle ground, and maybe some of you have come up with this middle ground, and that would be to do like a test marketing, to pick out one or two of the slowest selling items in Quebec. Okay, find the products that are not doing well. Put those two products with a Quebec marketing firm. See what they'll do with it. Have them adopt that, specifically those two products, and give them 18 months, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, and see what can be done. Put the investment in on a couple products. It'll be a lot less expensive than trying to adopt everything. Measure the results, and then you'll have data, real live data, to go to Minneapolis and say, okay, these are the real slow moving products. We went with a specific marketing firm in Quebec and did these, made these changes and adapted the market, and this was our results. If it's real positive, then we could maybe adopt more products. If it didn't meet the investment dollars that we spent, if it didn't work, we could go back to the global market. There really are some real advantages, again, to having global brands. What is the Coca-Cola brand worth? It's a worldwide brand. It's a huge thing. And in fact, let me tell you a story. How did, in America, Pepsi-Cola and Coca-Cola are about even in sales? Why is it that does Coca-Cola have such a global presence all over the world? What happened? What kind of it's an accident of history. They did have a little time. The first few months that it was introduced, it had a small amount of cocaine. No, the real reason was the Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces, Dwight David Eisenhower. It was Ike's favorite soft drink, and he put it during World War II. Coca-Cola, Hershey's candy bars, and Lucky Strike cigarettes. Those brands were in the GI packages for morale purposes, shipped all over the world. And obviously when they were in Asia and Africa and Europe, all over, the soldiers would have Coca-Cola and Hershey's, and they'd share that with some of the kids in all those places. And this is why Coca-Cola still has a leg up on Pepsi-Cola, because again, history. It's an amazing story. But developing global brands, there's a real advantage to that. But again, there's tailoring the market. So it's not clear. This case is not cut and dry. And each company may have. That's why management is an art and a science. Each company gets to decide how they want to do things. So, thank you very much. Cut.